Hi everybody, hello. So for those of you who don't know, I am Jaime Wyland. I work here at Integrative Health and Wellness. I'm super excited to be here. I was a patient here for a year before I got the pleasure of working here, so I know the doctors pretty well. And it's just such a blessing to be a part of what we're doing here, what the doctors are doing. And so we do these go lives to help you guys just get some answers. If you guys have any questions or concerns that you want me to address with one of the doctors, please feel free to DM us, let me know. I'll take any likes, hearts, any type of love you have for me. Tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently. So for those of you who don't know, I'm pretty new at Integrative Health and Wellness as a employee. Before me was Joelle, who was at the front desk. Love Joelle, and just recently I did take a little camping trip, and Joelle got to fill in for me, and she had this awesome surprise for me when I came back, and I get to share that with you guys. So Joelle gave us tales of an ex-integrative health and wellness worker story. So you guys get to hear what it's like to be an ex-integrative health and wellness worker. This is what I gotta share with you because it was one of the coolest things ever, and I could relate to it so much. So PG rating here, according to Joelle. These chronicles are loosely based off of real events, real thoughts, and emotions are depicted. Okay, so day one in the real world. There is sugar everywhere. Dr. C, also known as Dr. Colin Kinsales, Dr. C's voice in my ear saying, "Don't eat it." Dr. Sarah's voice is in the other ear, "Sugar kills." What does my hand do? Picks up the cookie and puts it in my mouth. Day one, failed. Day two, real world office. There's a Krispy Kreme donut fundraiser at the office this month. I know I don't want 10 glazed donuts in my house. Who does, right? I make the right decision. I don't buy them. Next, I sit in the coffee room staring its glazed eyes at me. I eat one and run. Day two, failed. Day three, almost. I'm feeling good. I'm getting a lot of walking in every day, eating salads, no bread, but then the sugar craving kicks in. I eat a Granny Smith apple. I want more. I stand around in the kitchen for a while contemplating and walk out. 15 seconds later, I bust open the bag of chocolate chips, eat 3 handfuls, and feel satisfied. Day three, failed. Day four, no thank you. I'll stay here. I think I'll stay in bed all day. This way, I can avoid going anywhere near food that will make me sick. I just won't eat. Ha! I'll beat the system. 30 minutes later, crap, I'm hungry. I have a family to feed. I guess I have to get up. I know! I'll make a healthy smoothie, grab all the greens I can find, throw in some protein scoops, taste test, bleh, nasty. Add a whole bag of frozen fruit, much better. Day four, nearly there. Day five, dining out. When you go out to eat and the doctor's voices aren't there anymore, it's free range of anything on the menu, right? Wrong. When you get the bread, rolls, and dessert, you feel it later. It's not fun to need to sleep more when there's a beautiful hot night to spend with everyone. Make the right choice here. Please, please, please. I'll have the steak salad and a piece of carrot cake. Crap! I ordered it. I got halfway through the order and my mouth brain went straight to the sugar. I have to eat it now. I bought it. Day five, nice try. Day six, the struggle was real. The doctor's voices are mostly gone. The office is full of sweets and birthday cake and processed snacks. I'm starving. I don't want to spend the money at Panera. I don't want to feel like turds. Real life outside of integrative health and wellness is too hard. I eat a bag of Fritos and get on with my day. Day six, failed. Day seven, the motivation is on. I feel like a fatty and I want to eat better and I feel like I'm getting sick, so I have to. I can't let the world ruin me. Low sugar, I mean no sugar. Veggies, veggies, veggies. Eat real food. I know exactly what I should eat right now. It's just, I want sugar. No! Day 7, failed. Day 8, you're either in or you're out. Healthy or unhealthy. Alive or dead. Okay, that's a little dramatic. I'll go with day 8, dead. I mean, how many of us feel this way? Like, do you feel like every day is a struggle to eat the right foods and stay away from the carbs and the sugar, even the fruit, right? Because fruit's still sugar.
Hey guys.
Oh, and here's Dr. Colin Kinsales.
I feel like we should be snapping our fingers for a poetry clap for Joelle. That was great. That's great. That was really good.
So, about this sugar thing, I mean, we all know I am a sugar addict.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a struggle every day. And reading Joelle's depiction of life outside of here,
Yeah.
I mean, she stopped in the other day, and it's, I mean, I can relate to this like crazy, because outside of here, I mean, here it's easy for me because you and Dr. Sarah eat so well. But outside of here, we're just so faced with convenience and busyness, you know?
Yeah.
So what can we do? How bad is this affecting us?
Well, it affects us pretty severely. I mean, sugar, it's been shown to be 6 times more addictive than cocaine to the human body, which is pretty significant. And whenever you ingest or snort cocaine or eat sugar, it actually lights up the same area of the brain, and it stimulates the same neuroreceptors. So it's actually stimulating the exciting centers of the brain that create addiction. Not only that, but sugar on top of that makes you physically addicted, not just neurologically, but physically through blood sugar levels in your pancreas. So it's really, really difficult to come off of it. And once you start, it's hard to stop. And I know even me, when I start to eat sugar a little bit, I just want to keep eating more and more and more. Like the next day, I'm like, I'm kind of craving it. And one of the reasons for that is that your blood sugar will spike, and then you'll crash. So on that crash is whenever you're going to have, I'll fix this a little bit.
Sorry.
We're gonna have a, you're going to be more irritable. You're actually going to be in more pain. You're going to be lethargic or tired.
When you're coming off
when
of
you're
it.
coming down, yeah. And you're going to crave more sugar. That's where the addiction part comes in. So, sugar will increase inflammation in our bodies, and inflammation equals pain. So a lot of times, like we discussed last week, if you've eaten sugar the night before, you may have more pain the next day in just your irritated areas.
I got to stop you there, because I do got to tell you something. This is kind of cool and not kind of cool. I'm just saying. I get both sides of the spectrum here, but like since I've been working here, I really am trying to get over this addiction. I have given up carbs, but sugar is my vice now.
Yeah.
And since, I like work for adjustments, it's part of the benefits of working here. And since like I have had regular adjustments here, lately I have fallen off the wagon. I have eaten carbs. I've been eating sugar. And the cool thing is, though, it took me like 4 days to feel it.
Yeah.
Because my body's, because you have me regulated so well, right?
It's not always the next day. Yep, it can take some time to feel it. And your body is going to have like a threshold that, that once it hits with stress, so stress builds up, and once you hit the threshold, like we say, it goes above it, and then you get a symptom. So what may have happened there is we had your stress level so far below this threshold. Whenever you continued to stress your body with the sugar, it took 4 days, and then it finally popped off and you got your symptoms back. So.
Which stinks that I don't quit before that.
Yeah, that's right. You could have gotten away with it a little bit.
I could have gotten away with it a little bit, but I didn't, because I was like pushing myself. I mean, it's like the thorn in my side. It's the pain that actually helps keep me from not eating it, because it is an addiction.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's like, do I want to suffer with an addiction? Or do I want to suffer with pain?
Yes.
So
there are ways to get off of the addiction as well. And, I'm just going to say a couple more things just to maybe influence you to work at getting off of sugar. So sugar will actually feed cancer. And cancer cells feed off of sugar only. Your normal cells can feed off of fat and sugar, or carbohydrate, which breaks down the sugar. So you can actually starve cancer to a certain degree by only eating like a ketogenic diet and being in a deep ketogenic state, and that's a whole other story. But whenever you eat sugar, you're actually acidifying your body, and cancer survives in an acidic environment as well. So those are some things that you want to keep in mind. Sugar will make you fat.
Don't they do a test, like a cancer test, using
Yes,
sugar?
it's called a PET scan. So anyone that knows someone that's had cancer in the past, the first thing they'll do is a PET scan usually, and they inject radioactive glucose in the blood, and they tell you not to eat sugar and carbs for maybe about 3 days, and then they inject it into your blood, and then they watch to see where it goes. And it's always going to go to cancer, because cancer feeds, like ravenously feeds off of sugar, and rapidly eats and gobbles it up. So they can then image that radioactive iodine or radioactive glucose and then see where the cancer is. It's kind of one of their ways of detecting it. So the problem is that they're not telling anyone to stop eating sugar
after that.
After the fact, yeah.
Right.
And that's the test that they use to find it. So it's kind of common sense. We find sugar handling problems and carbohydrate handling problems a lot with thyroid issues, because whenever you eat sugar, you have a hormone called insulin, which pushes the sugar out of your blood and into your tissues. And when your insulin levels are high, your thyroid hormone is low. And over time, if your blood sugar is constantly high, meaning your insulin's up, then your thyroid function is going to degrade, and your thyroid's not going to work as well as it should. So stop eating that.
I mean, if I would have known that.
I never told you that.
No. How many years ago? Because those of you who don't know, I suffer with exhaustion all in different forms, but my thyroid was actually how I met Dr. Colin.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's amazing.
Yeah, and it also feeds infection. So you can have, whenever you're sick, you definitely want to avoid sugar and dairy, because that usually breaks down the sugar very rapidly, like milk, not so much cheese. Unless you have a fungal infection, that's something different. But yeah, you want to avoid, it'll feed parasites, fungus, yeast, mold, bacteria, and viruses. So you don't want to feed the enemy, is what I always tell my patients.
I always think it's cool, because the one time, since I've worked here, you were ill one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget it, because the one thing that he said was just so matter-of-factly, too, was, I'm just not feeling my best, but it's not a big deal, because I'm just not going to feed it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just so matter-of-fact of, like, I'm just not going to feed it, meaning you weren't going to eat sugar or carbs, you weren't going to eat those things.
Yeah. And it doesn't, the whatever it is, the infection won't last as long. And then if you hit it with something that killed it off really quickly, then
it drives me crazy, because that's the first thing we're taught to go to. Like, okay, if I have an upset belly, I go to ginger ale, or I take Coke.
So, ginger though would be excellent to use.
Ginger would, like in tea.
Just basic, yeah. So you just grate up some ginger and steep it in some water, and then you have ginger tea. I mean, ginger works excellently.
And no chicken noodle soup filled with noodles and mashed. Like, I mean, when we're sick, right, we go to like cinnamon toast.
Or someone brings you
sugar with cinnamon on toast.
Yes, that's not the best. But cinnamon works very well. So it's just pairing sugar with things. And another interesting fact is, whenever you pair sugar with things that you eat, you're more likely to become sensitive or allergic to those things. So a lot of times people are allergic or sensitive to wheat or corn, because think of what's in like a cake or a cupcake or something like that, or a cookie. It's wheat and sugar. So what happens is, whenever you eat that, sugar will inflame the digestive tract, and it will make your intestines more porous and kind of open up, and it will allow things that aren't completely digested to get into the bloodstream, and your body recognizes that it kind of registers it as a foreign object, so it's not broken down properly, and it attacks it. And then you develop an allergy to that, because the body's ready for it. And even the proteins that get broken down, if you're not eating those things with sugar later on in life, your body will still attack it the same way that it was before. So a lot of sensitivities to food comes from pairing sugar with the other foods that you're eating, and that includes fruit as well.
Which is so funny, because we're so taught to think like whole grain bread is good for you, or whole grain pitas, like those are a healthy option.
Yeah.
But it's really sugar and grains.
Yeah, if you're getting a soured or sprouted bread, a little bit better. But other than that, I would try to work to avoid it, and definitely don't put anything sweet on that. And you really want to avoid pairing sugar with fat, because that turns into like an inflammatory nightmare in the body.
Sugar and fat.
Yeah. So really, yogurt and fruit may not be the best. because
okay.
that's going to be a sugar and fat. And then a lot of desserts have sugar and fat with them, right? Like whipped cream, things like that, like the whipped cream, desserts. See,
No Cheerios and bananas. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
well, that's wheat and sugar together.
I mean, that's
so
just
that's probably not the
which
best
is the
thing.
craziest thing, because like that is a health. I mean, when I think healthy, that's
one of the things you think of.
That's one of the things I think of, and if it's just amazing. I will say, like, somebody came in today and I thought it was really cool because they were asking, what type of diet should they eat? And I thought it was really interesting because you weren't just, you didn't just say one, like the most fad diet that's happening right now. It wasn't like, okay,
paleo or ketogenic.
Right. Yeah. Like you really took time to figure out like what her exercise, like what she's putting her body through every day to figure out which diet was best for her.
Yeah.
And, for any of you guys, like you see me, I'm always at the front desk. So when people ask questions up there, and he knows it too, as soon as they ask a question, I'm like glue, like, what's the answer? What's the answer? Because I want to know as much as I can.
Yeah.
But most of the time it doesn't help me out just because I'm so different from,
it doesn't
we're all
relate
different.
to you specifically.
It doesn't. Yeah. And so I try to take as much as I can. It doesn't help me because it's so individualized here that I can't grab onto it and share all of his little tidbits to everybody.
So,
it just doesn't help us, but it's nice that it's individual.
Absolutely. Very, very detailed and specific to the person. But of course, getting back to sugar, it'd be really important to get off of that.
So no matter what diet you're on.
No matter what diet. So, there are ways to do that.
That makes me really sad. Just so you know, I understand.
It's because you're addicted. It's okay. So, you want to make gradient changes off of sugar. So you don't want to shock your body and saying, okay, I'm done with all fruit, all sugar, everything sugar related. You want to gradiently change the way your body is utilizing sugar. So if your body's used to a ton of blood sugar and you stop, you're going cold turkey and you're going to crash and you're going to probably burn and you're going to go right back to, you're going to feel awful. So if you're a sugar addict and you eat a lot, you want to gradiently begin to reduce. Say you have, 3-4 cans of pop a day. Reduce that down to one to maybe, if you're doing 4, do 3 for about a week, and then cut it down to 2 for a week, and then just keep breaking it down. And when you get to the end, usually that's the hardest, so maybe just do a quarter of a can a day for a week and just go that way. Another good thing to do is actually to increase your fat, because as your sugar breaks, as you reduce your sugar, your body can also use fat for energy. So if you transition your body into utilizing fat for energy instead of sugar, you're going to be able to go longer periods of time without eating. It's a more sustainable source of energy, so you're going to have energy throughout the day rather than that up and down roller coaster from sugar and carbohydrates. You're going to have more energy overall.
Just like fat bombs, right?
Exactly. So if you look for recipes for fat bombs, you want to make sure that they don't have sugar in them. And you can
any sugar.
I
mean, like monk fruit.
So monk fruit is different because monk fruit's not going to elevate your blood sugar level.
Okay.
And it's not going to cause inflammation. So if you would put sugar in a fat bomb, like regular sugar into a fat bomb, you're going to inflame yourself. So you don't want to do that.
Because that's the sugar and fat that you were talking about earlier. Don't do that.
Correct.
Okay.
So you can look online for fat bomb recipes, and if you find one, just substitute sugar for monk fruit, and because it's the same sweetness and it tastes exactly the same, so it's really good.
And it's the same measurement. So just so you guys know, if you guys haven't heard of monk fruit yet, it has been my lifesaver. Honestly,
you can get it at Walmart or Giant Eagle. It's in the sugar and it's in a bag.
It's so nice.
It's
the same texture and everything as regular sugar, so it's not like
sweetness.
Stevia. There's not like an aftertaste.
Correct. Yep.
It's really nice. So fat bombs.
And that's like eating, desserts all day long. So if you're used to, it's the best transition food that you can possibly do, because if you're used to eating a lot of sugar, it's like you're eating dessert all day, but plus you're feeding your body the good quality fat, so you're transitioning your body into utilizing fat for energy. You'll lose weight that way too, because again, sugar is the only thing that is transformed into fat in the body, really, carbohydrate, sugar. Fat won't do it unless you're eating a ton of it and just not moving at all. And that has to be, I'm talking about like 3 to 4,000 calories of just strictly fat and nothing else in the diet for fat to make you gain weight. So another thing that really works well is making sure that you have proper amounts of B vitamins, because B vitamins are needed to break down the sugar and the fat. So if you're lacking B vitamins, you're actually going to crave more sugar. And one of the best natural sources of B vitamins is something called nutritional yeast. And that tastes like cheese almost, and it's kind of like a flaky thing. You can also get that at the grocery store.
It's like in the baking aisle.
Yeah.
Is that right? It comes in like a packet?
I'm not sure if it's in the baking aisle where it's at, but you can put it in your soups. It comes in like a little shaker container. Okay. You can put it on your salads, but it's very high in the B complex, so all the B vitamins are in there. And that's an excellent source, better than if you were going to go to, say, the grocery store or GNC and get yourself a synthetic vitamin B. And you'll know it's synthetic because it won't have any food on it, but it'll just say the different types of B vitamins like niacin or folate or something like that. That's something that's produced in the lab your body won't recognize. Not that great. If you're going to do B, you want it from a food source so your body can use it. And then if you're still having trouble with that and your body's really unable to regulate itself, we can definitely help you out and help out your pancreas, because that's what releases insulin, and it's also what creates enzymes needed to break down the carbohydrates and sugars that you eat. So that's one of the main things that we target and work to heal up and repair throughout the process. And there are some other supplements and things that help you to get off and kind of ease the transition for you.
It's a rough transition. I get it. I just want you guys to know I'm always on my roller coaster. But I will say this, when I'm off of it, like when I am doing really well, my energy is really high. My attitude is more positive. A lot of times I swear you know it, because I have an attitude problem on sugar. But,
it's not that bad, Jaime.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But I just want you guys to know there are some things in the office here other than what we've talked about that you can do to help people, with adjustments and different techniques like that. Yeah. So it's super cool because you guys do so many things to help in different ways. So I love that. I'm just going to end here. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Did we go over everything you wanted to?
I think so. Yeah, it was pretty thorough.
It was good.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Thank you so much, Joelle.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I want you guys to know too that we are live every Wednesday, 5:30. So if you guys have anything that you guys want us to talk about, please send that to us. We also want to let you know that if you're local, you guys are more than welcome to come to a free class. Dr. Sarah's teaching that this week. You'll be teaching it next week. It's right here in our foyer. Seats are free, but space is limited, so reserve your seat on our website or on Facebook. Just give us a shout out there. And if you need to call me to get in here at any time, it's 724-205-6260. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.